Andre has. Like what I was able to see the other night on Lemarcus Aldridge's first appearance was a guy who has not been this wide open in his last 5 years in his NBA career. He hasn't played where he wasn't the focal point on a given night, and with other teammates who could not get it done. And he just looked amazing. I thought that had a lot to do with Nash, to be honest.
Yeah, I was impressed, man. His ability to pass out of the post,
Yeah.
kind of like Blake too,
Right.
was really impressive.
Right. That's the thing that Claxton doesn't. He does because it's a part of the Nets system. He's not bad at it either. He's good at it. He needs more time out there. But when you see Blake and Lemarcus moving the ball, it's a thing of beauty, man.
Right. Well, and with Claxton, teams can push him off his spot, where
Right.
you're not going to be able to do that to Aldridge or Griffin. I mean,
Correct.
I was like, I didn't even care when they signed Aldridge. It took me like 3 minutes, and I was like, oh, obviously this is why they signed him.
Yep.
Like, you know what LaMarcus Aldridge can do. I've seen him play before, but when you get him on your team and then he's in your lineup, you're like, oh, shit, like everything we weren't getting from the center spot, now we're getting. I mean, they started him right away. I mean, that's why he came here.
Yep.
And I'll say this about DeAndre.
Do you think he was good? This is something I really want to get your opinion on. Do you think it's because of his ability they started him right away? Or do you think it was because they, which could be considered his ability, but do you think they was basically sitting in that Nets boardroom and going, if we can get if we get LaMarcus Aldridge, we could pencil him at the starter. Was that decided even before they got him, is what I'm asking.
Probably. I would think they were like, look, this is a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
Marks has ties to the Spurs, so I'm sure he checked in with people over there. A lot of the guys on
the coaching staff, too, yep.
So I'm sure he checked in over there with them. And, you see a lot of Net fans on Twitter, they're celebrating and taking pot shots at DeAndre.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre's going to take this like a man,
mm-hmm.
and we're going to need to call on him at some point, and he will come through for us, and It's going to be a feel-good story. And you heard it here. That's what championship teams do. Someone's going to have to take the hit. Someone's going to have to sacrifice. Stop counting DeAndre's money, okay? We get it. The guy's shot. It's not even his fault. But he will take this like a man, and he'll be ready when called upon, and we will need him. There's going to be foul trouble. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be a matchup where we need him down the line, and I believe he'll come through for us in that moment.
I agree. And for someone who celebrated him being benched, I'm not celebrating DeAndre being benched. Like, DeAndre's a good dude. Like, if you watch him on the sideline, if you see how much, I think KD's been a pretty good GM too, if you ask me. And I think all the guys want to play with these other guys because these are some of the best guys in the NBA in the sense of just dudes you want to be around. Like, I see people settling to go play with LeBron. LeBron's an instant ring, right? Like, you're going to win a ring. But I think guys want to play with
LeBron
KD more.
When you play with LeBron, he's going to be on your ass.
Yeah.
LeBron's got a little bit more of an old school approach to it, where Durant's like, let's just roll the balls out there and go hoop.
Yep.
LeBron, it's a business for LeBron. Every day, the way they go about it. So I think guys get a little tired of that. But, hey, first off, LeBron gets people paid.
Mm-hmm.
He comes to an organization, he brings up a ton, and then he gets people overpaid, and then he leaves the organization to do what they have to do.
Yeah, no, Miami's coming back, though. Miami's back. We're going to slap them silly in the playoffs, but they're kind of back, I guess.
They're a good team. They don't scare me. I mean, look, we have the best team in the NBA. I've never felt like this. Even during the kid years, I never believed they could actually win it. I was like, the Lakers were there the first year. The Spurs, I felt like they had like a puncher's chance, but I feel like it's ours to win. I mean, the passing ability of a lineup with Harden, Irving, Durant and Aldridge on the floor. I don't care who the fifth guy is. I mean, just everyone can pass, everyone can shoot from the mid range, from the outside at the basket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we've seen a collection of talent like this. I really don't.
No, I like there was a YouTube video my son was watching, and it was this dude who basically simmed the Warriors, the 73 win Warriors.
Oh yeah, versus
us, right? We killed them. It wasn't close, so they were like, all right, let's make it KD versus KD, and the Warriors actually won, but I don't think that's possible. I don't. You could tell me whatever you want about Steph Curry. Steph Curry is an amazing player. I think he's top 3 in this in his era. But he's not better than Harden. He's not. And or even if you wanted to do it like this, if you wanted to go Harden or Clay, it's Harden hands down, and then Kyrie versus Steph.
So they're just different. Harden can carry a load. Pause. Like Steph can't.
Right.
Do that. Like Harden would put this year's Warriors team
in the playoffs
in a better spot because
yes.
he physically can do more.
Correct.
But man, I don't know if I was creating a team, I would probably super team. I'd probably have Curry on it and not Harden.
Really?
I'm a little worried about James's play of late.
I think James...
this is the problem with James Harden is that guys become reliant on him to do it all. And the ball has gotten stuck lately with him. Now, Kyrie's only, they only played the one half together since, when he came back. But it's getting a little like the one kid on the CYO team that can play, and everyone just get him the ball and then just stands there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the effect James has. Early in the year when he first got here, a lot of the fans were like, he's not being aggressive enough on offense. That was like perfect to me, where he was just out there facilitating, picking his spots. Now we're seeing a lot of one-on-one ball, and I'm getting a little worried about that.
So the reason why I take James over, because Steph will never have the shooting slumps that James Harden will have. But what James Harden will do that Steph can't do is, one, the obvious, bully ball, finish at the rim way better than Steph. It's not even close.
Yeah.
And then as a passer, in terms of making his teammates better, I'm looking at the teams that Steph Curry is playing on right now. He's not making he's still Steph Curry. He still hits amazing shots, but he doesn't make his teammates better. And you know what? Looking back at those teams, even though there's a version with KD, what they haven't replaced is not, they haven't replaced KD. What they haven't replaced is Harrison Barnes. If you could get that whole crew back together, and it won't be the same because they're older, they're slower, they're not right. But I think without KD, you needed at least a Harrison Barnes, and that's not Oubre. Oubre is not that guy.
Speaking of Oubre, did you see the Dinwiddie video that surfaced today?
Yeah. That was yesterday. I saw it yesterday.
I just saw it this morning. Spencer's the man, dude. If I could hang out with anybody on the team, it'd be Spencer Dinwiddie.
If anybody on the team would be my friend, I have a lot of friends who, personality-wise, I kind of like Kevin Durant if he wasn't a basketball superstar. Just, surly, and we're going to talk about Kev's being surly. But Spencer, I feel like Spencer is like me in a sense, like just really smart dude. I am really smart. I'm not very good looking, but I know I'm pretty smart. I score high on tests, and he knows he's smart and he's confident about it, and he doesn't let a lot of this shit bother him. And you know what? I think that smartness is going to play into him staying with us. I really believe he just sees, I could sign a 2-year, get a lot of money, and just win 2 rings easy.
Right.
On the most
get myself
team.
On TNT after my playing career.
Exactly. Or why would I leave Brooklyn, like the cryptocurrency capital of the world right now, and leave all this opportunity to just get a couple million more and sit and be Detroit's point guard for a few years. You know what I mean? He's gonna get paid anyway, and I think they worked it out. I think Sean Marks is smart enough to have worked it out already, or, and you tell me if you think this is possible, that they just decided, you know what, we want to let him get a ring. We want to let him maybe play a couple of cameo minutes in the playoffs, get a ring, and
if Spencer's telling the truth. Mm-hmm. or was given truthful information. Yeah. Because he didn't necessarily get accurate information, but you would think he did. That tells me that he's in their plans.
Yeah.
Because Oubre, obviously, if is healthy, can do things that we need. He can play a small ball 5 for us. He could play in lineups with Durant and Green and just be a defender out there for us. Mm-hmm. So if they turn that down, what other conclusion can you draw? Why wouldn't you do that? He's an injured player that you're not re-signing. Of course you would take Oubre for that. That would have been
you'd have Oubre's bird rights too, because it would be a player that was traded to another team that was traded. Like you could have more control. But I think Sean Marks is super smart. I think this is all really good people who are good at their jobs, and I think Spencer's a net for a little while longer.
The league is about guards. Yep. You can find big men and piece that together. Yep. You need guards. Like, I don't know what the Warriors were thinking drafting Weissman 2nd overall. Yep. And I think he's going to be a good player, but they just don't have the value they used to have.
Yeah, no, I
look at Towns.
It.
Look at Towns.
Towns is sad to watch.
He's like a better Miles Turner.
You know what? That's exactly what he is. And it doesn't matter. You could have the very best Miles Turner that ever lived. And the league, it's not going to move the needle in the league. You need guys who do what Jared Allen does more than you need a guy who does what Towns does. And look,
obviously he's better than Allen. But when you're talking about allocating your resources, because you can only pay so many guys when you're under the cap. Like,
I'm just talking
you can't
about
use your
how
money
that
up a big
position
man.
functions. Of that. That's what I'm saying. Like, that position, you needed to block shots, guard the rim, and rebound. Right. That's what you need a center to do. And the better they can do it, the better your team will play. Like I don't know. I want to talk to you about one team before we do the week coming up. Because we're actually talking too much. The Denver Nuggets. They add Aaron Gordon this week, and they look sick now. With Aaron Gordon at the 5, it lets MPJ go to the 3. He now only has to. Well, he plays defense, but very poorly. But that kid can score. That kid can flat out score. With Jokic, speaking of centers who could do more stuff, Murray, MP Jr., and Aaron Gordon, do you think they could put together a team that comes out of the West? So early on they've been bad. I know.
I don't know, man. I just feel like where are they getting their bucket at the end of the game? I always come back to that. They're great. Look, I would rather play the Clippers than them in the finals. I don't think it's a good matchup for the Nets.
Yeah. No, they're a well balanced team.
But I just don't organically see it developed happening. Team. Are they beating LeBron? Like, I just don't see that happening. I don't think Aaron Gordon is tipping the scales that much. What do they get? They got swept last year, right? Were they losing 5 to the Lakers?
5, yeah. I think they got 1.
I mean, if that Laker team is healthy now, I just don't see them beating them. I just can't see it. And they're very good.
I think Jokic will make it a joke against Drummond in the playoffs. And the guy who guards LeBron the best, this is what us analytic dudes know. And Denver's one of the smartest, most analytically driven teams in the NBA. They know that Aaron Gordon guards LeBron James the best in the league. and he now is on a team that he just has to do his job. Like Aaron Gordon looks